Hi everyone, I am here early today for our lunch and learn. It's funny. Nutrition Tuesdays, I'm doing it a bit early today. Let's see how the early time goes. If you guys are able to talk during lunch or listen during lunch, ask your questions, just kind of see how it goes in general, okay? So what I'm going to do is answer some questions that I've gotten earlier throughout the day. So today's nutrition topic is just a Q&A session. So people have sent me some questions, they've DM'd me, and so I'm just going to go ahead and answer some. And if you have any questions, you can just type them into the comments and I'll make sure to answer those as well. So this month, March, is National Nutrition Month, and so actually tomorrow is Registered Dietitian Day. So you can wish me a happy Registered Dietitian Day tomorrow if you want to. But anyway, so I'm going to answer some of these questions now. Again, if you have some right now, you can comment on them and I will answer them as well. So the first one up is, I'm not going to say the names because some people don't want me to say their names. It says, I'm a vegetarian. What are some non-meat proteins I can eat? So there are a few non-meat proteins that you can have. Some people go the route of eating tofu or soy or some type of meat substitute. Those are all fine. There's nothing wrong with eating them. You can have beans or legumes. Those are all good as well, and they're very filling too. You can also have things like quinoa, spinach. They're all non-meats, of course. They have a pretty good amount of protein in them as well. And of course, you can go the route of having some kind of nuts or seeds or beans. I said beans, peanut butter, anything like that. Those are all good protein sources you can have that are not meats. But make sure that if you are vegetarian or if you're vegan, that you get a B12 supplement, whether it's a shot or a pill or something sublingual that you can have, so you won't be B12 deficient. Only meats have B12 in them, so you want to make sure that you have a supplement of B12. So again, you can have tofu or soy or any kind of meat substitute product that you can put in instead of having the meat. You can do beans or lentils, seeds, any kind of nut butter. You can also make sure you have things like quinoa or spinach that don't have as much protein in them, but they still have protein in them. Okay, it's not a lot, but there is some in there. All right, on to number 2. So number 2 says, how much sugar should I have a day? So which type of sugar are you talking about? So there are different types of sugar. There's added sugar and then there's just natural sugar. So some foods with natural sugar are any kind of milk products like dairy. Dairy has natural sugar in it. Fruit has natural sugar in it as well. Starchy vegetables have they have sugar in it too. So I'm assuming that you're not talking about those types of foods. I'm assuming that you are talking about added sugars. So added sugars, it varies for men and women. For men, it is, I want to make sure I got it, 37 grams a day, which is 9 teaspoons of sugar a day. And for women, it's 25 grams of sugar, added sugar a day, which is 6 teaspoons, okay? Which you may think isn't a lot, but it actually is a lot. So you want to make sure that you are not consuming too much. A good rule of thumb when you are looking at food labels, because they can be a little bit confusing, is to do the 5 and 20. So anything that is 5% or lower is considered low. So when you see something that says low fat, low cholesterol, low sugar, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has no sugar in it, no cholesterol, no fat. It just means that it's less than 5% in that product. Also, if you're looking at the food label, you look for 20%. If it's 20% or more, that means that it has a high amount in there. So if you see the fat amount in a certain product is, 25%, that means it's very, very high, or it's pretty high in fat. But it also goes the other way. Sometimes you want a product that is higher in protein, and you want something that's high in protein that can be something that's good for you. So if it's 21% and it's protein, and it's a protein powder or it's a protein bar, that means that it's good. It's a higher amount of protein in it, and it's fine. There's also nothing wrong with having any type of sugar substitutes. So things like Splenda or Sweet and Low or Equal are perfectly fine. Some people have heard about them being cancerous, but a lot of those studies use mice, and they have really large amounts of the sugar substitute that they give to the mice, which doesn't equate to human beings, of course. So you can know if you have coffee or something like that. Yes, of course. But you can use agave as well. Agave is good too. It's made from a plant. Honey as well. Yes. So all of these are all natural. You have to make sure that you're checking the food label when you're getting honey, also agave, because some companies, they put added sugar already in the natural sugar products. So for honey, they add sugar to the honey to make it more sweet. So just make sure you're checking the food label when you are buying these products. There's nothing wrong with them. Just make sure, like if you're getting honey, that it is 100% honey and doesn't have any other type of sweetener in them. Also, sugar alcohols are a form of artificial sweetener, like sorbitol. Sorbitol is usually found in gum. So some gums have sorbitol in them. They're sweet, but it says no sugar, but that's because they put a sugar additive in there instead. You have to watch out for the sugar additives that have the OL in them, like sorbitol, because they can cause GI distress. And GI distress can be gas or diarrhea, something like that. So the OLs at the end for the sugar additives or sugar substitutes. You want to make sure that you watch out, because you don't want to have any GI distress from them. Okay? All right, so let's move on to the next question. So, I want to try keto diet. Should I? So, a lot of people have been talking about the ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is something that I learned when I was in my dietetic internship like 10 years ago. And people with epilepsy use the ketogenic diet. It's very, very high in fat. It's like 60 to 75% fat, 15 to 30% protein, and only a small amount of carbohydrate in them. And so in some way, which I don't remember now, the added fat helps control the seizures from people who have epilepsy. So they will eat a huge amount of fat. I mean, when I was in the hospital, it was a children's hospital, they would give them like pads of butter. Not lying at all. That would be what they would be eating for lunch or dinner or breakfast, hey. So now it's become popular because, I don't know, just like any other diet that they have here in the world, people have tried it for whatever reason and they've lost weight. Basically what happens is it makes sense. When you don't eat any carbs or a very small amount of carbs, the fat that you have stored in your body now has to be turned into energy, and that is called ketosis. Now, when I learned about ketosis, it was a bad thing. So now people are doing it to lose weight. So it kind of confuses me, but I guess I understand. People are trying to lose fat. There can be some side effects to it, though, because when the body goes into ketosis, the pH level in your blood changes. The acid increases in your blood, and that can cause very serious problems like sepsis. It can cause coma. It can cause death if the pH in your body, in your blood, goes too high. Also, it throws off the pH in other places in your body. There are things called keto crotch. Keto crotch. Because your vagina needs a certain pH, and so when that pH is thrown off, then it becomes a little bit smelly. So do want to watch out for things like the ketosis, the pH in your blood may be too high, especially for people with diabetes. I wouldn't suggest that they try the keto diet. That can cause some problems. You might want to check with your doctor first, though there are a lot of people who have diabetes that use it as well because it is so low in carbohydrates. Anywho, people like it because they lose weight fast. You're not eating a lot of carbohydrates. So you eat, mostly fat, and then you have the protein as well. So does it work? Absolutely, it does work because the amount of calories that you're consuming is low. You're not eating a lot of carbohydrates as well, and you're burning the fat instead of the carbohydrates. You have to also realize that if you are consuming an increased amount of fat, that's going to your arteries, and that can cause a lasting effect in your body. So you want to make sure that you have healthy arteries. You don't want them to be clogged up from trying the keto diet. I'm sure that it's not long term if you're using it. Hopefully it's only for a small amount of time. That's what I would suggest. Something like 3 months, or if you are trying to lose weight for your class reunion, or you're trying to lose weight because you're getting married, or for the summertime, I wouldn't suggest you use it for very long, because again, you have the breakdown in your body, and you have ketoacidosis that increases the pH level in your body. It can cause a chemical imbalance. It can also cause dehydration. So there are some side effects to it. So I would suggest you only use it for a short amount of time if you are going to do it. Does it work? Yes, but try not to use it for very long. I wouldn't suggest you do it for more than 4 months. Okay? All right, next question. All right, I heard about eating charcoal. Is that good? Well, guys, people have been having like black smoothies, black shakes, things like that. They've added, like, grinded up charcoal because it is detoxifying. Doctors use charcoal for people who are being poisoned, who have been poisoned, for people who have had some type of drug overdose that basically makes them throw up, or it clears out whatever toxification that they have in their body. So people have heard the word toxicity, detox, whatever, and they're like, oh, let me do it now. Not too much. So one thing about eating charcoal, besides it just like staining your teeth, besides it staining your teeth, and like, why would you do it? Whatever, we already talked about that. It can bind to different vitamins and minerals and medication and cause issues there. The medication that I read about specifically are antidepressants. So you definitely want that to work. You don't want to take any risks having charcoal or having a charcoal shake or anything of that nature, and then your antidepressants don't work anymore. You want to make sure you have that together, okay? So it can also cause constipation. That's definitely not really detoxing your body when you have constipation. That's something that's building up. The waste is building up in your body, and that's not what you want. So I would suggest you pass on the charcoal, okay? More questions. So should I eat every 2 to 3 hours? It seems like a lot. It does seem like a lot. And so what I would actually suggest is that you not eat every 2 to 3 hours. Just make sure you listen to your body. If you are hungry, then eat. If you are not hungry, then don't eat. It sounds simple, but some people don't get it. So what I would say is listen to your body, okay? Have you eaten? When was the last time that you actually ate some food? Have you thought about that? Is it now 6 p.m. and you haven't eaten anything since 10 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. Maybe you should eat. Do you have a headache? Also, some forms of dehydration, like if you're thirsty, that may come off as hunger because it's the same signaling. So if you're feeling like you might be hungry, take a drink of water. Take some gulps of water is what I would say, okay? So try that first, and listen to your body again. Are you being emotional? Are you emotionally eating here? Are you bored? Okay, so if you're bored, then you may want to take some time, stimulate your mind in some sort of way, okay, and not eat any food, okay? Let me see what other questions we got. I'm using my computer, don't worry. Okay, so I have someone who asked about Ally. So, I have a question right here. Okay, so are there any suggestions for a healthy lunch? So for healthy lunches, for healthy anything, I would say make sure that you try and have all of the food groups in your meals. Okay, so you have a protein, you have a carbohydrate, you have some type of fruit and vegetable in there. If you can, sneak in some dairy, and make sure you have some water in there too, okay? So for example, I did not bring my lunch today. Do not tell anybody. But my coworker is bringing me back some Bengali food, which is delicious. So it's some kind of beef in there. So I have my protein. It's a grain. I think it's like a yellow rice, so that I have my rice. And we usually have a salad with it too. With the salads, she likes to add some kind of fruit in there. So I have my vegetable and I have my fruit too. Though I don't really like fruit in my salads. It's okay. I'll still take them. So I have my protein, my grains, I have my fruit, my vegetable, and I always have my water bottle with me too. So I have encompassed just about everything. I don't have the dairy, but you can get dairy in for your snack. It's also letting you know that you can spread it out throughout the day. You don't have to have every single food group in every single meal. You just want to make sure you encompass it for the whole day. Maybe I wasn't clear before. If you can't have it for the meal, then have it for the meal. But it's based on a 2,000 calorie diet, which is for the entire day. So don't snitch on me. Somebody's about to snitch on me because I don't have my lunch. I usually bring my lunch, but just not today. So again, healthy means trying your best to encompass all of the food groups and having the least amount of salt, sugar, fat in your diet. That's something that is very important, especially for Americans. We have a lot of salt in our diets, a lot of sugar, a lot of fat in our diets. So just try and do, again, what I said before, have low amounts in it. Low is 5% or less. All right? Any more questions? Let me know. So a friend of mine asked about Ally, which is a weight loss pill. So Ally is something that is FDA approved. It is, I think there are like 2 other weight loss pills that are out there, and I'm not gonna lie, I've tried Ally before years ago, maybe like 2008, 2009, when I was trying to lose weight. And it's what it basically does is it binds the fat that you have in your diet and you poop it out. So it is FDA approved, so it does work, but you have to make sure that you consume that specific amount of fat in your diet. Otherwise, you'll be pooping out all of the fat that you consume. So if you have something that's high in fat, for example, some McDonald's, some French fries, you had a burger, you had a milkshake too, and you had some apple pie, it may taste good, but if you're on Ally, that is gonna make you poop like crazy, okay? And it's not a good poop. It's just not good at all. Trust me on that. Again, does it work? Absolutely. You're supposed to make sure that you are, yes, you're pooping your grease. You have to make sure that you are adjusting your diet for the pills. You want to eat less fat so you don't have all of the poop on there, or you don't poop so much, instead of thinking that I am going to eat a high fat meal, so let me not take the pill. That's not what you want to do. You want to make sure that you are actually eating a low fat diet. So that, along with Orlesta, and I think they have something else that is a medication that your doctor can prescribe for you. They all work. Some of them are diabetes. One of them I know is a diabetes medication that some doctors prescribe, which has a side effect of weight loss. Best bet, just try your best to do it the very slow way. I know there's, a lot of people don't want to do it that way, but it's the best way to do it for your healthy lifestyle, okay? Changing your lifestyle gradually over time is what's best, instead of doing certain diets like the keto diet, which yes, it works, or having pills like Ally, yes, it works. But what about if you stop Ally? What about if you finish the keto diet and you don't want to do it anymore? Usually, then you gain the weight back. And again, like someone is saying, clean eating, exercise is best. Eating whole foods and doing some physical activity is best. Some people say abs are made in the kitchen, and they are. You want to make sure that you are eating better, not just eating right, because there's such a stigma with eating right. Making sure that you have all of the food groups in your diet for the entire day, and just, trying to live your lifestyle better in general, okay? I think that's about it. I've answered all of the questions here. If you have any questions and my live is over, you can just make sure to DM me. My Instagram is Natasha Ashley _RD. My Twitter is the same, Natasha Ashley _RD. On Facebook, I am Natasha Ashley. Check me out on my YouTube page. It's at Natasha Ashley Nutrition. And that's where I repost these live videos, and I've done some food reviews for different snacks. I'm going to try and also do some other stuff on there to talk to you about other nutrition topics. It is National Nutrition Month, so I want to talk to you a little bit more about that as well. So make sure you follow me and let me know if you have any questions. And I put recipes up there as well. So if you want to talk about any of the recipes or just any nutrition and health topics that you may have, I am here for you. So again, that is it. If you have any more questions, let me know. And I am out. I hope you guys had a wonderful lunch and learn with me. Happy Tuesday, happy Nutrition Tuesday, happy Nutrition Month, and bye-bye.